Hey everybody, we're back in the Encyclopedia of the Ancient World, and we're going to talk about the first empires. Okay, I know we just recently talked about city-states and what they are, basically acting as their own country, and they were very complex, organized cities, and there was multiple of them in the areas, and they started their own trade networks. Okay, unfortunately, these trade networks between the different cities first of all, they were important. They brought trade, they brought different products, they created jobs. But one of the problems with it is they also created instability. Okay? It was caused by this burst of activity. All of a sudden, you had all of this trade going between the cities and different things, and people started to see kind of enviously what they wanted and started to compete for power and land. Okay? So the first thing was he had another city-state that was called Akkad. It was just north of Sumer, and they spoke Akkadian. And eventually, it became the Akkadian Empire. There was a man named Sargon in 2370 BC who grew up to become a powerful official in the city of Kish. He eventually overthrows the king of Kish and created and led a huge entire army. Okay? And from there, he set out to conquer Sumer. And eventually he did, and he ruled a very large area between the Mediterranean Sea and the Persian Gulf. And this, as he was doing this, he creates the first empire, the Akkadian Empire. Okay? So after Sargon, he had different successors who fought to keep the empire. And eventually, the empire fell apart in about 2230 BC, 2230 BC. Then we have the Sumerian Empire, okay? Remember, the biggest city was Ur, and the third dynasty of kings from the city of Ur eventually wins control over the Akkad and Sumer areas and begins his empire in 2113 BC. And again, as you create empires, people are vying for power and land and trade. Even with the trade comes money and power. Ur starts to create some enemies. The first enemy that we talked about is the Amorites. They were kind of nomadic people that were south of Ur. They herded sheep and traded with Ur. But as they began to grow, they began to push into the northern areas, and this kind of influenced Ur and got into the city of Ur some. And it started to create problems with them. And then the other enemy is the Elamites, which was part of the Sumerian Empire, okay? But they didn't like being part of the Sumerian Empire. They decided, they didn't want to be ruled by somebody else. And so there was a struggle for power. And as the Sumerian Empire is basically getting problems from different people, they got the Amorites in the south causing some issues. They've got the Elamites, and they've got some other things going on, and they're trying to hold on to their power, and it eventually becomes too much. And the Elamites are completely tired of it. So at some point, they decide, we're going to attack Ur. So in about 2006 BC, they attack the city of Ur, they conquer the city of Ur, and at that point, it ends the Sumerian Empire. And like I said, those just kind of real quick with this, the Encyclopedia of the Ancient World. It's not a lot of good information, but it's not a lot of detail in it. So make sure you read it, though, because you are going to need this information. It's good information, and I'll see you guys later.